Ice Cube and
Okay.
Tupac.
Pac and Cube. I like this one.
I like this too. Impact.
Tupac.
Live performance. I think that's Ice Cube actually.
I think so too.
Ooh, fascinating lyrics, Mike.
We'll go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna go Cube.
I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
Barely.
Because you know what? He set the tone for the approach that Tupac would come along in.
I totally agree. One of Tupac's big comeuppance moments as a young artist was being able to get Ice Cube and Ice T to do a record on Strictly for My Niggas called Last Words.
Yep.
Because Cube was the man around the time Strictly for My Niggas came out. Right. Storytelling.
Huh. I'm going Cube on that.
I think it's a tie.
Huh. Cube got a good day.
Bird
Cube,
in hand.
that story, I guess so.
That's a story.
Once Upon a Time in the Project.
Projects. Once upon a time in the projects.
Yeah, Cube's storytelling is high. I got Cube on the storytelling too. What stories you got for Pop?
No. We can give that to Ice Cube. That's cool. Classic albums.
That's Cube.
I agree. Classic songs. That's Tupac.
Yeah, that's Pop.
Longevity of albums.
That's Cube. Still got Straight Outta Compton.
Straight Outta Compton. Okay.
And you got America's Most. And you got Death Certificate.
See, when I think of longevity of albums, I think about how those albums are holding up and how they're revered too. And it's like the Straight Outta Compton, it's like, yeah, but America's Most and Death Certificate's not revered like Me Against the World and All Eyes on Me over the duration. Like, in hindsight, looking back. At the time, yes, but for the duration, no. And that's how I look at that. But the Straight Outta Compton thing, but there's no denying Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the You Can't Fade Me. That was a great story, too. What's that?
Oh, yeah, You Can't Fade Me.
Yeah. Or what about when he was going to the hospital? What was that? Like the end of the first side of Death Certificate.
The end of Death Certificate. Yeah. Right. I know what song you're talking about. I just can't think of it.
Yeah, his storytelling
But that's what I mean about the album not being as notarized. It's like we're trying to think of the song. It's like, no, I know the song I'm talking about on Me Against the World. But longevity of songs.
That's Pop.
It is. Classic collaborations.
That might be Cube.
I give him that. Career longevity quality.
That's Cube.
Cube's beating Pop.
I didn't expect that.
Me neither.
Maybe Cube needs to go up.
Want to do Ice Cube versus Jay? I thought we did that. Didn't Jay beat?
I don't know if we did Cube versus Jay. Did we?
Hold on. Well, I mean, first of all, we got to slide Pac out right here. Oh, that's crazy. Pac and Big are right next to each other.
So, okay, let's do this Cube and Jay thing just to make sure.
So right now we have Nas at 1, Rakim at 2, KRS-One at 3, Jay-Z at 4, Ice Cube at 5, Pac at 6, Biggie at 7, just so we're clear.
Okay, let's do this Cube and Jay thing.
That's cool. Impact.
That's Jay. Yeah, I feel like we did this, but we'll
live
see.
Performance.
That's Jay.
I think that's Cube. But okay. Like, think about it. Cube was a live performer with NWA and as a solo artist. And then back with West Side Connection. And then back as a solo artist.
He was on the Up and Smoke tour.
Yeah, he's been everywhere.
He's still touring right now. Okay, Cube. Right.
Yeah, I think he's a better live performer than Jay. Lyrics, Jay.
Yeah.
Storytelling's Cube.
It's Cube.
Classic albums, fascinating.
America's Most.
And Death Certificate.
Death Certificate. Straight Outta Compton.
And he's got Kill at Will floating around. He's got Lethal Injection floating around. Like, he's got some good projects centered around. But he's got...
I think that's Jay.
His 3 is Straight Outta Compton, America's Most and Death Certificate, though. Like, are you sure?
I'm sure. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm gonna go Jay on that.
Classic songs.
That's Jay.
Longevity of albums.
That's
I think
Cube.
that's Cube again with that Straight Outta Compton.
Cube.
Longevity of songs.
That's Cube.
It is. Because Jay don't have no good day.
Or Straight Outta Compton. Or, the one that fucked the police.
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cube. Man, yeah. Cube's a beast, Mike.
He is, man.
Problem in these streets. He always has been. Where are we at? That was classic collaborations. That's Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Career longevity quality.
That's probably Cube.
It is over Jay because he's here clear like 8-9 years before Jay. Like
even that project that the Mount Westmore last year, Cube was a standout on that. Yeah.
He's the star.
Yeah.
He was the star of that album. I told you. Hold on. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. Oh Mike.
If it comes down to voice, that's Cube. New Yorkers ain't gonna like that one.
Ice Cube. Yep. And right, Mike voice. And you're right. He jumped over Jay. Yo, that's wild.
He beat
I'm
Pac.
surprised that happened.
I was surprised he beat Pac. I thought Pac was gonna end up winning all this stuff.
Me too. But Cube's package is nice. You want Mike?
Joe Young said, "You guys did this already. Jay is number 1. Stop. Come on. I mean, did we do this already? Because I do remember us discussing their performances, but I don't remember us going.
I felt like we did it in J1.
I felt like we did it in J1 too. What has changed? Maybe we weren't considering everything that Cube's done.
Did we give Jay live performance? Because that's the only thing that I can think of.
I think so.
And giving Jay live performance at that stage would have given him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we had to have given Jay live performance.
Yeah, Leroy's gonna go crazy. Not to mention, the rap roundtable guys that are probably in here too. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to leave Jay there at 4 because I don't think realistically. Do you think?
I mean, it looks like Cube won.
Huh?
Looks like Cube won. Like, it's fair and square. I mean, what categories did Cube win?
He won live performance, storytelling, longevity of albums, longevity of songs, career longevity, quality, and voice.
That's justifiable.
You could argue about the longevity quality, could you?
I guess you could.
Could you say that after 1999 per se, the quality isn't there?
That could be argued. I think that one category. What do you guys think? Because I think that's probably the category that we have that is the toughest to kind of gauge from some individuals. Mm-hmm. Like some people could say that Cube fell off for a period. But when you think about that, where did Cube really fall off per se? Because even in the midst of that, he still has We Be Clubbing. He still has, like, You Could Do It, Put Your Back Into It, records like that.
Pushing Weight.
He still has, Pushing Weight. He still has Hello. You know what I'm saying? Not to count, like, when he hooked up with Lil Jon with Real Nigga Roll Call and all of this stuff.
Grand Finale.
Exactly. So it's like when that era that people say that Cube fell off, he just wasn't making America's Most in Death Certificate anymore. But he still had bangers. And so,
you know what? You make a very valid point because we got on Cube for the quality, but you want to know what the problem with it was? It just wasn't Death Certificate or Lethal Injection.
Yeah.
Or because then, if you think about it, Mike, that West Side Connection album with Bow Down.
Exactly.
And
that's a classic too. I've heard many people say that Bow Down is a classic.
I love that album, Mike. That's another 4.5 for me. The West Side Connection album, that's a 4.5. Shit's a banger.
Cube has done the work. Not to mention the work that he did on
Hold
Straight
on.
Outta Compton.
So when did Mike look up right quick when Boys in the Hood came out? When did Boys in the Hood?
I feel
get
like
released?
that came out 87.
Me too. I feel like that's 87.
Yeah, man, he earned this.
Is 97 when Pushing Weight and War and Peace and all that came out, or is that 98, 99? I can't remember.
That was 98, 99. I think Pushing Weight was 97. But War and Peace Volume 2, I think it was. Or 1 or 2, that was 98, 99. Let's see.
So let's say that over a course of 12 years, he was at a certain level, okay?
Yeah, that's 87, Boys in the Hood.
That's what I thought. And you said, hold on, I'm going to look it up right quick. War and Peace.
Melvin Wright with the super chat says, Cube fell off on the Peace disc. Well, if we want to go there, what do we think about the Blueprint 2? If we want to go there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm trying to get a time frame in mind. So, okay, so look, War and Peace was released November of 1998, Volume 1, the War disc.
Okay.
And the Peace disc was released March 21st, 2000.
Okay, so we talking about 13 years into his career, excuse me. So 13 years into Jay's career, we're at Blueprint 3.
Hold on, I was about to say, 96 to 2006 is 10.
Yeah,
So
13 years in.
Right.
We're at Blueprint 3. And in my estimation, the last Jay-Z level effort that he ever put out.
But let's look at the records in those times. So over here with Cube, we've got Straight Outta Compton.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he does it where we count Easy does it.
I mean, he did the writing on there.
Huh?
Ice Cube writes rhymes that I say. I mean, he did. We giving Jay credit for still DRE, don't we?
Okay, no, I'm just bringing it up. So he's got Straight Outta Compton, Easy Does It, America's Most, Death Certificate,
Kill at Will,
Injection, Kill at Will. He's got the West Side Connection album. He's got the War Volume 1 album that was dope. Am I missing something? He's got stuff in between, like Natural Born Killers on the Murder Was the Case soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
So he's 8 great projects in. Now let's go to Jay. We've got Reasonable Doubt, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3.
I don't really dig Volume 3 like that.
Right. Okay. No, I'm just going through in order so we know what to scratch off, because I didn't hear you scratch off any of the Cube stuff that I listed.
Yeah.
This stuff is pretty great, right?
What's that?
All that Cube stuff I named is great, right?
Yeah. I need to brushing up on the War disc, but Kill at Will is the truth. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we know that he's been part of 8 great projects, and we're at 3 with Jay because you just took Volume 3 off. What about the Dynasty?
I think the Dynasty is a quality project.
Is it up to the level of the Ice Cube stuff that I named?
Again, I would have to
is it as good as the War disc? Because I don't think so.
Yeah, I would have to refresh myself on that. So yeah, I have to get back to you on that.
Okay.
The Blueprint is on there.
Yeah, so that would be so the Blueprint is definite, so that's 4.
Then
the
you
Blueprint
got
2 is not on here.
Yeah, the Black Album.
That's 5.
Okay. Then we got American Gangster.
That's 6.
Then we got the Blueprint 3.
That would be 7. That's why that Dynasty album matters, because it might be closer to a tie than people are thinking.
I would rather put the Dynasty album up against West Side Connections album, because the Dynasty is a compilation.
Mike, you don't want to do that to the Dynasty album.
I'm just saying, I think that's the fairest thing to do.
And West Side Connection album is sea walking all over the Dynasty album. You understand that, right?
Joe Young, Joe Young with the super chat with all caps. He says, Jay won this already. Mike and Coop, that's like hating. Hove, come on, Coop and Mike, stop. I thought you guys were better than this. Hove and Nas are unmatched artists.
We're just asking questions.
We're just asking questions, man. I mean, I want to ask you this, though, Joe Young. Where do you think we're getting this wrong? Is it the longevity quality thing? Because that's what we're talking about now. Kevlar Laboratories with the super chat says, I call Cap Coop a real Prince fan would have owned those albums before he passed. Don't get Coop started. I'm sure he did.
Hold on. Let's stop for a second. Who said that I didn't? Those albums are still sitting here for a reason because I haven't opened them or touched them since I bought them because maybe I already have other copies and I don't need to touch these.
I do remember us doing this because I remember Jay Short saying that we was tripping. Jay Short with the super chat says, it's not that Cube fell off hard. He was just political with his message. And that Laugh Now, Cry Later album was a banger.
Had some stuff on there.
Cube is a special case, man. Look, guys, y'all tripping about Jay-Z. Cube just beat Tupac. That's the part that I'm like, whoa.
I'm more stuck on that than anything.
Right. Cube just justifiably beat Pac. Now, a lot of that's longevity stuff that Pac just couldn't win, but...
Let's say Jay, do you think Jay's a better live performer? I think we gave Jay live performance. I think that's what it was. I think off the top he is, but there could be an argument made that Cube is. So maybe we need to poll that. And there's a lot of polls that we got to get out there, and I'm going to make sure I catch up on the polls and stuff today, too, I promise. How about this? Here's what I'll tell you. Ice Cube doesn't have something uneven like Volume 1 in terms of the singles versus the quality on the album ratio, and he definitely doesn't have a Volume 3 in his prime. He doesn't. Like, because his prime is America's Most, Kill at Will, Death Certificate, Lethal Injection, like all that shit way better than Volume 3, like just respectfully speaking. So it's like we not tripping as hard as people think that we tripping.
Right.
Really, really look at it.
And what people got to understand too, and you know, shout out to LL, love LL. And one of the big knocks on LL was the fact that when rap got heavy, there was never a definitive year where you could say LL was that guy. Early 90s, Ice Cube was the guy. Like,
not a guy.
Yeah, he was the guy.
Not a guy.
1990, 1991, Cube is the guy in hip hop.
Listen,
and that's the truth.
Children, it's story time. There was a time in West Coast rap before Snoop and before Tupac where the West Coast was still running shit.
Yeah.
Its name was Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Insane.
The Predator. What do you think about the Predator? How do you feel about the Predator?
Mike, Ice Cube's run at the top is actually longer than Snoop and Pac's.
Yeah.
I mean, Pac's obviously is about his demise, but I mean, Snoop had Doggy Style, so Snoop had, 93 and 94. You know what I'm saying? Man, Ice Cube had 90, 91, 92, and part of 93.
And then start doing movies. Because then, look, this is what we got. This man comes in the door right after Straight Outta Compton, right? Right after Straight Outta Compton, you're coming with America's Most. You got Kill at Will. You got Death Certificate. You got Lethal Injection. You got The Predator.
Easy Does It, Mike. Don't forget the rating on Easy Does It.
Easy Does It. Okay. You got, because we're forgetting The Predator, too. The Predator came before.
Predator.
Yeah. The Predator came before Lethal Injection. So we're shorting Cube a little bit.
We forgot about The Predator, Mike. Oh, my God. It's a problem out here, Mike.
Yeah.
Isn't The Predator one that got Good Day on it?
Yep.
I don't know about that whole career longevity quality. Now I'm thinking about, Mike, we talking about Boys in the Hood, talking about the author of Boys in the Hood, the author, co-author of Easy Does It, author of Straight Outta Compton, America's Most, Kill at Will, Death Certificate, The Predator, Lethal Injection, West Side Connection.
Yep, Bow Down.
Bow Down.
It's a lot,
Natural
man.
Born Killers, Mike, Natural Born Killers, Hello.
Yep.
Pushing Weight, Bow Down. Gangsters Make the World Go Round. Put your back into it. I don't know, Mike.
I think
Mike,
I'm gonna have to.
Me thinking, it's like, how many hits Jay got? Because Cube got a lot of hits.
Exactly. I think, and I don't fault the fans.
Mike, we've identified a problem in these streets. It's Ice Cube.
I think we have, man. I know people think that we're tripping, and and we kind of was drinking the Kool-Aid too when we first did this matchup. But yeah, I think a lot of people just we don't really amplify Cube's career properly as we should. I think that people like Jay Kanye too. They make sure you acknowledge what they've done. And I think that mainstream wise, we've slept on the importance of Cube's record and the work that he's put in.
I'm gonna say this again. Boys in the Hood,
Yeah.
Straight Outta Compton, Easy Does It, America's Most, Death Certificate, Kill at Will, The Predator, Lethal Injection, West Side Connection.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, that's very top five-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna tell you something, Mike. As a Scarface fan, Scarface don't have no run like that. And I prefer Scarface to Ice Cube. Scarface ain't got no run of albums like that.
I think Cube's about
the most consistent album maker ever.
I think Cube's about to justifiably beat KRS too. Jay Short with the super chat says
very problematic.
The Death Certificate is probably seen as the first end-to-end West Coast classic album, and the message on there is still resonates. Yeah.
It's a top 20 rap album too.
It's a new and improved Chuck, like I said, and I say that respectfully because Chuck's my favorite.
It's not 20 albums better than Death Certificate. There's not.
Joe Young with the super chat says, I'm saying Hove got Reasonable Doubt Volume 1, Blueprint 1, what's that, BA, Black Album, American Gangster, at least 2 4-mic albums. Classic Nas had 2, but 4 albums. Great to get ahead of Hove. Coop in Real Time, Jay, Timeless. Okay. He said, Ho, Reasonable Doubt Volume 1, Blueprint 1, Black Album, American Gangster, and at least 2 4-mic albums. That's 5.
That's not enough. That's 7. That's not, I'm going to say this again. Straight Outta Compton, Easy Does It, America's Most, Death Certificate, Kill at Will, The Predator, Lethal Injection, and the West Side Connection album. Mm-hmm. There ain't no 4s. Them is all 4.5s, Mike.
Yeah.
There ain't no 4s. I didn't name a 4.
Yeah.
So I said we have a problem.
Those are big time records.
Mike, Lethal Injection of the Predator are probably the weak albums that we named of the bunch.
Mm-hmm. And they got some classic stuff on it. They got Check Yourself Before You Wreck Yourself on it, you know. And you know how we do it.
Albums.
Yeah, you know how we do it and shit like that. People love Laugh Now, Cry Later.
Those are the 4s.
I liked Everything's Corrupt. Kevlar Laboratory says Cube been top 5. Thinking back on it, guys, is it really? It's kind of disrespectful to not have him in the top 5. Whose career looks like this? And not to mention, I'll throw an additive in there, even outside of the music, kind of like what Big Gip was saying about Pac. And he's a movie star.
And he was the man. Still kind of the man, too.
Yeah.
Don't you still kind of look up at Ice Cube, low-key, Mike?
Of course. I always will. That's why when all these suckers was out here dragging Cube in 2020 over some politicians, I was like, niggas have lost their minds.
No, Mike.
Minds.
Right there. Yeah. No. We stood up for Ice Cube the way we're supposed to.
Ridiculous.
I remember the chat was going in on us when we did it. They was like, yeah, y'all bugging. It's like, no.
No, y'all are bugging. Anybody who's picking a racist politician over Ice Cube when he's just trying to look out for your community and he doesn't have to has lost their minds.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm going to show you who the sellout is. It ain't Ice Cube.
Yeah, because really a sellout is somebody at this point is just sitting at home and ain't got to do nothing and ain't got to say shit.
Like, I mean, are we really putting Ice Cube over Jay and Pac?
Looks like it. And people saying they were hating on Jay. Are we hating on Pac too? Y'all know how heavy we go for Pac.
I'm not over the Tupac thing right now.
Yeah.
But when you think about it. Ice Cube was multi-platinum and a legend before Pac even came up too. Think about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we're not making this up.
Right. They delayed the release of Tupac's second album because Ice Cube was running shit. That happened in real time. Think about this. You know how great Ice Cube was?
Hold up. I don't mean to cut you off, Coop. Somebody in the chat talking about looking out for our community by advocating violence in music. So, what violent records is Ice Cube advocating for in his music? So it's not, if you want to put out those type of narratives, at least name some songs that you're talking about. Don't just put out blanket statements. That's not true. Ice Cube's not an advocator for violence in music.
Who said that?
I don't, it's somebody in the chat. I want to acknowledge the super chat people, but yeah. No. Jay Short with the super chat says, folks be giving Jay those mogul points in rap conversations. Can't do that with Cube. The work had to stand on its own. Yeah, and if you want to talk the mogul talk, Cube has done that too.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. While niggas is making Doggy Style and Ready to Die and Illmatic and Southern Playalistic, he's making Friday for $3 million and then making a $15 million profit because it grossed 18 to 21 in a year.
He's in Boys in the Hood. He's in Higher Learning.
Yeah. And then took that money and started his own film company around the time Reasonable Doubt was coming out. Yeah. So when Reasonable Doubt is dropping, this nigga owns a film company.
But what was Reasonable Doubt dropping on? Priority, right? Who walked in the door and made Priority a commodity? Ice Cube.
Made Priority a priority.
Yeah. Exactly. When Ice Cube left NWA, he went to Priority and basically wrote his own check and went platinum out the gate without a major jumping behind him. I mean, we see, and I say this respectfully, as great as Reasonable Doubt is, and as great of a team that Rockefeller team is, you see what Reasonable Doubt did on Priority. Look at what Cube did on Priority with America's Most and Death Certificate.
I think Reasonable Doubt did 700,000. I believe America's Most did like 1.3, 1.4. So almost double.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know what, too much? He's actually one of the few people that can actually say it's like, because when people talk about Jay, it's like, will they go to Reasonable Doubt in the blueprint? It's like, you can't do that shit with Cube. It's like, no, he got America's Most and Death Certificate. He actually has 2 albums that are like right there. Like his 2 best albums, because here's the thing, I think America's Most and Death Certificate are better than the Blueprint. So he actually has the advantage in that, even though Reasonable Doubt is the best album of the 4. The next 2 go to Cube, though. It goes Reasonable Doubt, Death Certificate, America's Most, the Blueprint.
I'm with you on the Reasonable Doubt over Death Certificate, but there can be an argument made that Death Certificate is better than Reasonable Doubt. It's not a far-fetched idea. I'll put it that way. It's not one of those.
It's not far-fetched. Song for song, it's definitely a problem for Reasonable Doubt. The lore of Reasonable Doubt does matter in that, though.
Yeah, right, and the lyricism on Reasonable Doubt, too.
Ice Cube versus KRS?
Let's do it.
Impact.
Ice Cube.
I think that might be KRS.
I'm not mad at that. I mean, he came first. His impact is huge. But Cube's impact is pretty huge, too. They came around similar times. He didn't come that far ahead of Cube.
He didn't. Maybe a year.
A year.
Is it tie in order?
I think so.
Live performances, KRS.
Yeah.
So are lyrics, in my opinion.
Yep.
Or do you storytelling? Ooh.
That's Cube.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. We just went through the songs.
This ain't Jay.
I feel you.
This KRS.
I feel you. KRS got some great stories.
KRS made up an entire story about being a blunt, Mike.
Yeah,
and it's
he did.
What
do the people think? I want to go to the people on this one. Who do y'all think is the better storyteller?
Love's Gonna Get You is just as good as
Good Day? Is it?
Good Day's better. Good Day's better.
Who's the better storyteller, y'all? KRS or Ice Cube?
My philosophy is technically a story too, Mike.
Is it?
Jack of Spades is a story.
I know, man. Cube got some.
Super Ho a story.
Said KRS got stories. Okay.
He do, Mike.
That's like saying True to the Game is a story or something.
I'm cool with the tie on this.
Okay.
Because I think they're both top 10 storytellers, but kind of like the back of the top 10.
Alive on Arrival, man.
Classic albums. Ooh. See, you know how we just named all those Ice Cube albums?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
We could do the same for KRS.
Criminal Minded, By All Means Necessary.
Mm-hmm.
The Blueprint, Edutainment, Sex and Violence, The Return of the Boom Bap, KRS-One album.
This is what I'm going to say real quick. For the people who are talking the Jay-Z thing, this little window of 2009 to now, and Jay only having Holy Grail, Watch the Throne, 444, and Everything Is Love. That's why this has become a closer conversation than it should be. Now, if we were cutting things off in 2009, Jay's resume looks flawless. And then you start looking at what other people have done from end to end, he's not as far ahead of people as it once appeared. You know what I mean? That's where this is coming from. KRS didn't stop working. Cube didn't stop working. It didn't stop putting out quality material. You know what I mean? But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. You were talking about all the KRS albums.
One of the greatest things Jay has done, like I told people, he's the greatest businessman hip hop has seen, because it's like he has made people believe things that aren't like real. I told you Nas was the greatest MC of all time before this run. I wasn't joking, because it's like, if you really look at it, the guy, if you really just look at the music, well, he hasn't been that guy, Mike, since we were in our late 20s.
Yep.
We're 40-something now. He hasn't been that guy since we were in our late 20s.
Yeah.
That's just a fact. That's not no hate. This ain't no Nas channel. It's like, no, fam, go back and listen to the records. It's like, he had a run and he had a peak just like everybody else has. That's what made the Nas run more startling, because he had a run and a peak. Because here's what I tell you. Life is Good is 2012.
Yep.
Jay don't have nothing from 2012 even. That's why I was like, no, this conversation was over with Life is Good.
It's like, I think that, at least for me, we were judging Jay by his prime because we didn't see that slowing down or stopping. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And at the time, we didn't see any rappers that, were from a previous era, or at least from that generation, that was still active to the level that he was. So it made it look like he was just that further ahead. And now we're looking back on it, it's like, okay, KRS kept making albums. Cube kept making albums.
I'm going to tell you what happened, Mike.
Nas done made 4 in the past 4 years, like less than that. But you know what I'm saying? So now it's looking like, okay, well, the playing field's been leveled.
Here's what I think people didn't realize is that all the great rappers that could still make albums kept on rapping too. Like Ice Cube, like a KRS-One, like a Nas.
Yep.
Special rappers kept on rapping,
and we can't discount them in that way. It's like we can't act like those albums don't exist.
Right, and people can't. And listen to what I'm saying. The way people talk about Jay, you would think Lil Wayne didn't have the run that he had. Drake, Cole, Kendrick. It's like, these are the guys that have actually really been running it since then, because Jay really ain't ran it since about 07, Mike.
And kind of a smoke and mirror situation there too was kind of like on Hey Mr. Carter, where it was like him passing the crown. It's like, nah, the crown had already been passed, whether you did that or not. Yeah, like like Wayne was doing what he was doing regardless.
Look, we took care of that a year ago for you.
Yeah.
So we talking like 06, 07 was the last time he was the guy, Mike. He came out in 96.
That's 10 years.
Very comparable to Ice Cube from 87 to 97, or KRS from 87 to 97.
Exactly. Like, his run feels like it was longer than it actually was. You know what I'm saying?
That's appearances, Mike. That's why I keep telling everybody about, a lot of his quality stuff is on other people's stuff, or it's features and it's guest appearances. It's not smoke and mirrors. It just makes it feel like he's done a great job as a businessman of making his presence and his aura felt throughout the culture.
Definitely.
But if you just start breaking it down for what it is, when you get to the music, when you get to the albums, when you get to the actual career, it's like, no, he hasn't had this career that supersedes KRS or Ice Cube in terms of the quality of material, music, songs, hits. No,
you're right. It's like, if we treat this like we're treating any other artist, you know what I'm saying, and not get caught up in the names or the branding and all of that stuff, and just look at the music and look at the runs from year to year. I mean, it could be argued that even in the 90s, which I think was probably one of his strongest periods, DMX was that guy for 98, 99.
I mean, here's how you really need to look at it when you talk about his run. You talk about people talk about when was L the man. It's like, fam, you can make the same argument and say when was Jay the man, because it's not 96 or 97.
No. 96 is Pac,
98,
96, 97 is Biggie, 98 is X. It
99
could be art.
it might be 99, Mike, but think about this. If your best year is your volume 3 year, well, that's what we would call, like, if we, Mike, remember I told you in the Book of Kings, there's good kings and bad kings, and like you look at their reign, it's like getting MC of the year, like in the volume 3 year, it's like, oh no, fam, that ain't nothing to hang your hat on. Ain't nobody running around talking about your legacy and relationship to volume 3. We talk about Reasonable Doubt, volume 1, volume 2.
I still think, man,
American
I think
Gangster.
it could be argued, and I know X dropped 2 albums in 98, and one of them was in December that carried over. Taking myself back to that time, I think 99 was X. It could be a better argument for Jay in 98 over X than it is for
But
99.
he didn't even outsell X that year. That's the thing. Even when Meth was talking when X came out, everybody at Def Jam got new houses.
Right. He saved Def Jam. Jay Short with the super chat says, Ghetto Vet, Gangsta Fairy Tale, Once Upon a Time in the Projects, Who's the Mac? Yeah, Who's the Mac? Summer Vacation, Look Who's Burning.
Vacation.
Yeah, Look Who's Burning. Cube wins storytelling.
You want to know what? I like the evidence, and I'll give that the Cube. We'll take the tie off.
He got a lot of stories.
No, I'll take the tie off. I like that because I don't see anybody coming with the KRS stories to match.
Joe Young with the super chat says, I'm saying Jay have 3.5 mic albums, 4.5 mic albums. Coop, go off your age group with Cube. Jay reaches is longer than Cube. Trust me. Ask most people. Jay is number one.
But he won the Impact version of the. That's what I'm saying. He beat Ice Cube on Impact, so you're absolutely right.
I think a lot of people, listen, Joe Young, I think a lot of people are going to say that based on what they've been sold. They've been sold that Jay is number one. Like, let's just take all of that out and really start looking at it. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people have been sold that Michael Jordan's the greatest basketball player ever. But you know what? You can pull out all those things and really make a case for category to category and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to do the same thing here. Honestly, I think we were unfair to Cube and his work and his catalog when we initially matched them up because of what we already had a bias, an unconscious bias.
We're trained to think that Jay is better than Ice Cube.
Yeah, we're trained to think that Jay has more longevity than Cube when he doesn't.
We are. Classic albums. KRS.
All right, let's go through the albums.
Or Ice Cube.
Let's go through the albums.
Yeah, let's go through that. I got Straight Outta Compton.
Easy Does It.
Straight Outta Compton, Easy Does It. America's Most, Death Certificate, Lethal. It's 8 albums.
Okay.
8 great albums.
All right,
so the KRS have 8. Because I think he's at 7.
Okay. I think that goes to Cube.
Yeah.
I think the West Side Connection's probably that one that gets him over the hump.
I was thinking Kill at Will and West Side Connection album, because here's the thing is that those 4 BDP albums, Mike, those might as well be KRS solo albums.
Oh, they are. That's how I look at them. Yeah.
If you want to talk about somebody going 4 for 4 out the gate, Mike, actually 5 for 5. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. The first time that he made a project that I didn't think was great was I Got Next. That was 99.
I Got Next was still dope.
It just wasn't a cheer.
Yeah.
But if you look at it, the 4 BDP albums, and then the Return of the Boom Bap album, and then the KRS-One album, Mike, that's actually the best 6-album run to start anybody's career in rap history.
I'm with you on that.
It is. Like, nobody's first 6 albums look like KRS's. Nobody.
That's fair.
Every other MC on this list that we have got some suspect shit somewhere between 1 through 6. Cube shit would be The Predator. Which has Good Day on it.
Yeah, right. Andrew Williams with the super chat says, I'm glad y'all are telling the real truth about Jay's career. People act like he still puts out great music. Shaking my head. Nas was always better.
than saying that, but that's neither here nor there. Let's finish this up and actually like insert somebody new in here before we get out of here, so we can actually add to the list. So let's get through this Cube KRS thing. And oh God, do Rock M and Nas if he makes it that high. Awesome. Classic albums. We're going Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Barely, Mike, by a hair.
Yeah.
Classic songs.
That's Cube. Not by a lot, but that's Cube.
Longevity of albums. I think
I'm gonna go KRS.
Me too. Longevity of songs.
That might be KRS though. We talk about the
KRS.
bridge is over and yeah.
Classic collaborations. Ooh, that's fascinating.
I think that's Cube. I don't think KRS did enough.
I agree.
And he comes from an era where, you know, you don't do that a lot. That's why when he did Mad Isms, it's so special.
Right. He killed Mad Isms, by the way. Career longevity quality?
That's KRS. I think.
How much longer has KRS been here than Ice Cube? Because I tell you, that might be a tie.
Just a year.
Cube, no, that is KRS, because Cube took a break that KRS didn't take. Ooh, fascinating. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we got to do it. Voice.
That's a personal preference for me. I'm going Cube, but it could go either way.
I'm going to tell you why I'm going to pick KRS. Because KRS voice sounds better live than Ice Cube's voice. Ice Cube voice sounds better on record.
Well, let me tell you why I'm picking Cube's voice over KRS. Cube's voice sounds great over everything. And
I don't know about that, Mike. I don't know about that.
I mean, Lil Jon production, when he did Jackin' for Beats, and I heard this nigga over the Humpty Dance, and heard this nigga over Welcome to the Terradome, I'm like, yo, this nigga sounds great over everything.
We might have to tie the voice.
What do the people think? Jay Short with the $20 super chat showing love. He says, Jay may be a bigger mogul, but Cube is a visionary. What black family movie were there before Barbershop franchise? Haven't we been asking for our own sports league? And he's trying to get the money in the hands of other blacks. You know,
I gotta say is, you want to know what type of mogul Ice Cube is? I was playing Straight Outta Compton one day when my daughter was about 9 years old. And she said, "Who is that?" I said, "That's Ice Cube." She said, "The guy from Are We There Yet used to rap?"
Yep, he did. Once upon a time in the projects.
I said, "Oh, my child." I said, "Once upon a time, he was the greatest rapper walking this earth."
Yeah. He was the guy that, you know, these media outlets...
The nigga you love to hate.
Yeah, they would love to bring him on the show to talk about hip-hop subjects. Because you know what was special about Cube in that era too? Because all of those guys were young. He was the young guy that was articulate enough to get on all of these platforms and actually not look crazy and not say anything that would put a foot in his mouth or a foot in the culture's mouth. He would outsmart the host. And this is like a dude in his early 20s going up against, you know, hosts that are 40, 50-something years old.
Not Brother Malcolm, but shades of Malcolm.
Very much so. And even at that point, as thoughtful and as thought-provoking as Tupac was, he was still pretty raw. He didn't handle interviews to the level that Cube did at that time.
He did sometimes.
He grew into it. I'm talking about early Pac. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, Cube's been ready since day one. There's never a point where you've seen a Cube interview where he seemed out of sorts at any age.
I think he went to the LL Cool J, Chuck D media school of training.
For real. So he's been ready.
Okay. What are the people saying about Voice, though?
Let's see what the people are saying about Voice. Cube, top-notch business, both Voice. Let's see. What are y'all thinking on Voice? Both. Y'all gotta pick one, man. Yeah, that might be poll-worthy stuff. We could stop there and add somebody else in. This is difficult, man.
I'll tell you what, if we were to tie that right now, KRS-One would have the edge 5-4 with 2 ties.
Okay.
So tentatively right now, unless that poll changes, because here's the only thing that could really happen is that if it goes to Ice Cube, then him and KRS are actually going to be tied at 3.
People are saying Cube's voice. Cube on voice. Cube on voice.
Okay,
True that,
well then we have
Mike.
a tie,
Cube
Mike.
on voice. That's a tie. Let's see. Let's say some. I mean, we can still poll it, but I'm seeing Cube's voice.
Okay, I mean we can poll it. If that's how it goes out, then it's a tie between Ice Cube and KRS at number 3, and Jay would
Okay.
be at 5.
Cube
After that.
voice. KRS-One yells.
Okay, so it's a tie. KRS-One and Ice Cube are tied at number 3.